Another example. This time we have a push, print, push. Two pushes. Sandwich. A print. Look at the bottom. Right here inside of the else. So look what we have here. Okay, this is the base case. Same base case as before. When you get to a length of 1, then just print that. But now look at this. We have a push. Remember what I said before. If you have more than one push, and it's going to be 2 at most. If you have 2 pushes, one is going to be to the left, and it's always the first one is left, and the second one is right. So we're printing left to right because we want to keep some order in terms of how these pushes are going to execute. We have a print sandwich in the middle, but the print is only printing the first character. So what do you think would print when we call this with cake? Let's take a look. Yep. Not what you expected. Not what you expect at all. This is hard. This is a tough one. This is the reason why having more than one push is tricky. Because how could cake come up with that? Well, this is something you have to kind of think through for the stack. Okay? You can pause the video and see if you can figure out how does cake become this when we have a sandwich where the push is the bread and the print is the meat. You see, the one before we had the print as the bread and the push was the meat. Now we have those the other way. So you could look at it and say, oh, it's a push before print and then a print before push. Like if you were to separate them out like that. But that will not be accurate because that doesn't work here. And the only reason why it doesn't work here is because that push right now, when you push onto the stack, it's pushing both of these. That one sinking. See, because when I get here and I go back, remember these are waiting. So a push is waiting. So when that push runs, it's going to push both of these. Let me just get that correct. See, this push is going to push both of these. So we have this push who pushes a push. So now we have this crazy output. So like I said before, pause the video and give it a run. All right, if you pause the video and give it a run and try to see if you can figure it out and couldn't come up with this, no worries at all. This is hard. So I'm going to show you how this works. Here is the solution. Now, one thing you have to be careful with here is the print that's here. It prints the first character. That we know. So we're going to ignore the print and only look at the push. So we're going to go with the left push and the right push. Okay. Let's get something clear here. Since this is a left-right, every push is going to have a left and a right. So let's start off. And what are we pushing? We're pushing everything but the first character in the string. So cake comes in, first call. Remember, this is on the bottom. It's upside down. This comes in first. The left push, AKE. The right push pushes the same thing, AKE. So we push it left and right. These are the arrows. Left, right. AKE comes back. It's going to push KE and also push KE, both to the left and the right. Remember, this KE is the left-right push. That is the push of a push. And then on the right side, same thing, KE and KE. We are pushing everything but the first character. That's what substring 1 means. Ignore the first one, because remember, with substring 0, 1, so 1 to the end, KE. KE comes back. We're going to then ignore the first one, which is going to push E on the left, E on the right. For every KE, it's going to push an E and an E and an E. Now comes the print. The print says print only the first character in every string. But how are we going to go? Left to right. So think of it this way. If you had a scanner here, and it was going to scan straight across. As you go across, that's why you have to draw the stack right. Every time you hit a letter, and you're looking at a vertical scan, print the first character. So this will print first. Because if I'm coming left to right, I'll hit this one first. If I keep going, I'll hit this one next. Okay? So then K would print. And if I keep going across, I'll hit that one and so on. So we got to make sure that we could follow that scan. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to run it again. and I want to see the scan. So E, that's this one first. Then K, that's this one. Then E, that's this one. Remember, I'm scanning across. A comes up next, that's this one, because we want to print the first character. Okay? Then an E, that's this one. Because this is left. This is to the left of this. And then we have a K, which is this one. And then we have an E, which is this one. So now we did the left side of the tree. So if you keep scanning, the first thing is going to be a C from cake, see? Now we're on the right side. If we keep scanning across, we print the first letter in that. If we keep this, the first one on the right side, so that's an E. Then the next one is going to be a K. I'm going left to right and only printing the first character. The next one is a K. And then we have an E, which is this guy. Then we have an A, which is this guy. Then we have an E, which is this guy. Then we have a K, which is this guy. Then we have an E, which is this guy. Like I said, not what you expect. But that's why when you do two pushes, it gets complicated, because this tree now has a parent-child relationship. This is the parent. These are its two kids. This has a kid. This kid has two kids, and so on. By the time we get down here, we keep doubling. It looks a lot like binary, right? Because if you think of it in levels, this is 1, this is 2, this is 4, and this is 8. If you're not thinking like that, let me push you there. 2 to the 0, 2 to the 1, 2 of them, 2 to the 2, 4 of them, 2 to the 3, 8 of them. So again, when you push, print, push, you're going to get a tree that looks a lot like this. And this tree is going to be scanned from left to right. And whatever we see first, especially since we're just printing, specifically for printing, and we're printing the first character, every time it's scanned, when you hit one, print the first one. That's the only way to walk around this one, because we have to do some ordering with the two pushes left and right. So we got a push, print, push. Very tough one. That's it.